You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. This week on The Biz, the monthly update series for May 2013. And on today's show, the Annuity Update with special guest Eric Palmer, nationally recognized annuity expert.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm your host, Steve Savant, and of course we're broadcasting to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain, and of course every month and today. Eric Palmer is going to walk us through all the annuity updates, and I just want to give you a heads up now, Eric and I are going to do a complete week series on annuities because we're getting so much traffic off this that we feel the necessity to spend a lot more time. We're only doing the update on rates, caps, things of this nature for a day like today. But what we're really going to do is we're going to really break it out, unbundle and unpackage the entire annuity, what's going on in the market. And we're going to take a week to do that, and look for that for another couple weeks. We're going to be doing that. Eric, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
And I'm looking forward to that series because I know a lot of guys are asking, there is so much traffic on consumers, by consumers, on annuities. Fixed annuities, SPIAs, mortality credits,
right.
Income riders.
Right.
Oh my goodness, there's just so much out there.
Well, the lifetime income theme's become so popular as well. I mean, not just with the riders, but also with the annuitization factors, a lot of product creativity, the influx of living benefits. There's just all these things happening at a very rapid pace in the annuity industry. It's hard to keep up with it, as you mentioned at the beginning. So again, to devote a whole week, I think is going to be very beneficial to all the advisors out there watching our show, because we're really going to hone in on very specific types of annuities, what's happening, and what's the next 5 years going to look like for each line of product that we'll end up evaluating.
By the way, a little side note, if you haven't seen our article, which is huge for annuity sales, it's all over the place, Producers Web, Insurance Forum. Ken and I wrote an article that's huge. If you're selling annuities, say, Steve, I want that article, just write me. Go out to our site, thebiz.tv, and say, I need that article you guys are writing about. And on top of that, don't forget, Ken made a blockbuster statement. If you saw his show last week, we're getting traffic off this, where he said actually deferral, depending upon the time that it's out there, can actually overcome tax exempt. That was a shocker to me, I have to say.
That was a shocker to, I think, to everybody that read the article. So right. I'd get your hands on 5 minutes with Ken, because there's a lot to be learned with that specific topic.
Well, what's going on? What's our rate issues? I mean, are we ever getting any uptick at all on this?
No, we're actually seeing some insurance companies increase some of their caps. There's a couple of positive moves in the marketplace, and there's been some holding on the MIGA rates. So there's a couple of things I want to cover today, but specifically, I want to start with Sentinel Life. We've been talking about them for 14, 15 months now. As the interest rate market has started to go down and the interest rate environment has been decreasing, they've been really the player at the top of the heap as far as multi-year guarantee fixed rates. Right now they're still at the top. A 5-year rate is 2.95%. So there's close to 3% you're going to get on a 5-year multi-year guarantee. You've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again here. Every single month I say this. I probably wouldn't sell past a 5-year multi-year guarantee right now. If the interest rate environment is eventually going to change, I don't want to lock my clients' money up too long in a low interest rate, but $2.95 for 5 years is pretty good right now.
And a little PR for Sentinel. I hope they send me a check for this. I actually put some of my own IRA contributions, my wife and I did, this year with them because of that $2.95 rate for 5.
You can't beat it. And there's something interesting that Sentinel just did. You know, I kind of want to stay within the theme of the company that we're discussing today instead of kind of bouncing around. So I want to mention a new product that they just came out with. It's really interesting. In fact, it's the #1 highest payout factor, or highest payout for lifetime income you're going to find in the industry today. So no matter who you're selling out there, whether it's SBL or North American or any of the number of other companies, Equitrust has a very powerful income rider right now. But if you're in Florida or Utah, Sentinel just announced a new fixed indexed annuity that has a 7% compounded income rider, but more importantly, their payout factors are the highest in the industry. So no matter what age category, we're finding that this new Sentinel indexed annuity has the absolute highest income payout as related to these income riders in the marketplace. So again, it's only available right now in Florida and Utah.
You expect it to be available everywhere.
I expect it to start to become available in other states, but if you are in those states, jump on this product. You cannot beat it as far as income is concerned, and you know, it's just become a really big staple in those two states for us.
Is the income rider, or what's the cost on that?
The cost on that rider, I think, is somewhere around a point. I'll have to check our figures. Give us a call here at Brokers Alliance, and we'll make sure that we give you all the statistics on that product. It's brand new. It just hit, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it here on the show today.
7%. Wow.
7% compounded. And again, it's if you're looking at max payout. Now, I never encourage always just taking the max payout company, do your analysis, find out why that company is paying out the max. But in this particular instance, they built the product specifically to address at high income marks. So if you're spreadsheeting, you're looking for that high income for a very specific purpose, Sentinel, and again, Florida and Utah, that's the product to look at.
Well, I'm encouraged because when we start to see carriers push these rates up a little higher, lock them down, right?
Right.
I mean, I like that because now this is really competitive. And you put mortality credits on top of this, that could be a huge way to look at income for the future. And by the way, a little side note, I've noticed that the longer my clients lead, a lot of guys are waiting for Social Security at 70. A lot of people are waiting to take their RMDs off their qualified plans. If 70 becomes the new demarcation line for annuitization, income riders, all this, you're going to see a brand new thinking behind these carriers because once you cross over 70, those mortality credits really have an impact.
Well, absolutely. And then you start looking at, okay, then if I'm head-to-head with 2 or 3 products, which one's offering these long-term or living benefit? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're going to turn 1 or 2 corners. You're going to need income for the sake of paying for these healthcare expenses or that long-term care expense, or you're going to need it to live on. So that 70-year-old mark is where those things start to happen to people, where living benefits start to matter more, and you're going to have to start making product choices based on the all-around benefit for the client. Wow.
Well, what would you say is really hot right now? Because really that MIGA rate, that's pretty much it, right? 295.
That's it. You know, there's a theme, we talk about them all the time. They do have a strong 5-year and 7-year. They're at 265 basis points, excuse me, on a 5-year. A little bit better in terms of size of the company, but I think overall Sentinel's got the lockdown.
Well, I like this, and remember, if you're a producer and you're making whatever compensation you're making on this, that plus this rate, that's going to be undefeatable just for your personal practice alone. When we come back from the break, we're going to continue our monthly annuity update for May 2013 with Eric Palmer. And don't forget to enroll in IULUniversity.com for the best training, education, and sales support when it comes to life insurance for retirement income.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Did you know the average 401k runs out of money just 7 to 8 years into retirement? Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications have warned of the difficulty of saving with a 401k. But what if there was a way to create tax-free lifetime retirement income with no stock market risk? Good news, there is.
You know, living in fear of the next market dive is not the way I want to live my life.
Why would I go out there and take on risk when I don't need to?
I have a lot less stress knowing I can't lose any more of my retirement savings in the stock market.
Call now to receive your free, no-obligation analysis of what this retirement vehicle could do for you, a comparison to your current retirement plan, and a free video that explains this exciting opportunity. Start planning a retirement you can enjoy instead of worrying about future tax increases and stock market losses. Creating income that will last your entire life is the most important thing you'll ever do. Take control of your future. Call now for your free analysis, comparison, and video.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant with Eric Palmer. And remember, you can order today's materials at thebiz.tv. And while you're out there, click on the Backroom Technician icon for a 30-day free trial offer to access the best needs analysis and client educational material that addresses almost every financial planning scenario. And again, as you know, I've been using it for 22 years. And a lot of our giveaways on the show for the last 2.5 years have been right off Backroom Technician. And for $50 a month, it could be yours. But go ahead and drive it for free. And remember, before moving forward with any of the ideas you hear in our show, always consult your tax advisor and legal counsel, as well as your broker-dealer if you're FINRA licensed. Well, we're halfway through our annuity update show, and we talked about rates. What else is really happening today cap-wise? Because we talked a little bit about this cap with this new product from Sentinel.
Well, you know, I think I talked about it on our last show, and I kind of was alluding to this innovation that we're seeing, cap innovation specifically. So there's products that are emerging now with the uncapped income strategies where there's a spread applied. So you've got the new Aviva Target Horizon product where on a 15-year chassis, there's a no cap with a 285 basis point spread that's applied to the crediting rate. So again, if you believe that these market pops are going to happen and you want to hedge that with a spread product, they're out there. But what I like in a product I kind of really want to hone in on today is a product from Genworth. It's a 7-year index annuity. Now, They offer this annuity in a 7-year and a 10-year chassis, but when you look at the income, when you look at the caps and the potential performance, I would sell the 7-year all day long, because really the only difference there between the two is really going to be commissions. So at the end of the day, the 7 years is really the product I would hone in on. Plus, you have an opportunity to meet with your client every 7 years. This product is unique because right now they have an index crediting strategy called the Cap Max, and here's how this works.
Wow.
You basically have the ability to roll your cap over, or the crediting rate that if you max it out in year 1, you can roll it over to the next year, giving yourself the potential to get 3 times that cap. So let me give you the example. Right now, the annual point-to-point is 4.2% with the 7-year product. So let's say in year 1 you get a 10% rate of return. They're going to give you a 4.2 credit for that year to your contract. You can take a gamble at that point and decide to roll that 4.2 over to the next year. So you'll get no credit for that particular year, you're rolling it over to the next year. Let's say in year 2, you max the cap out again. Okay, so you got a 4.2 in year 1, you got a 4.2 in year 2. They're going to give you 3 times that value. That means you have that opportunity now in year 2 to take a 12.6% return on your index annuity. So think about that for a second. You have the opportunity to roll the dice a little bit, and it is a gamble because if you don't hit that, you're going to lose. You're going to end up with the 0. But if you do hit the opportunity, and a lot of us can predict those years where we might get a couple of pops in a row where we max out these caps, you could get 3 times the rate. So again, if the current cap is 4.2%, you roll that over, you get the max in year 2 again, you have 3 times the value, you have a 12.6. Now, it's a little complicated, obviously I'm explaining it sort of at a 30,000 foot level, but there's some great sales material and great pieces here at Brokers Alliance that we can put in your hands to help you present it to the client and help you understand it yourself. What's really interesting about this is every year you can roll that maxed cap out. If in year 3 I got another maxed cap at 4.2%, I could take 8.4 of the 12.6, roll the 4.2 to year 3. If I maxed out again in year 3, they're going to give me the 3 times multiplier. I'll have the 8.4 plus the 12.6. I'd have a 20% return in 3 years. There's not a single product in the market like it. There's no other index strategy that's like this that gives you the potential to continue to triple your cap opportunity. So again, I'm explaining it a little quickly here on the show. There's some great material. We have some videos explaining how this works. Get your hands on it. This is one of the most innovative products. I like the opportunity that I can sell a real accumulation to somebody that's more than these average caps we see today. There's a real opportunity to give you double-digit returns in an FIA within a 2-3 period of time.
Well, I've got big name Genworth behind this one.
Big name Genworth.
And we may, if we get enough traffic off this by your inquiries, we may just go to a workshop on this and have Eric just bust it all out, because this could be hot. I love the potential, and this is what we're talking about. Major potential. And as you said last month, and now we're seeing it, Cap Innovation is now ruling the new annuity construction of new policies. That's huge.
And think about this. We've got the 7-year product that has this extreme accumulation performance. Typically, we don't see a relationship between high cap products and opportunity for income riders. With this Genworth product, you can add the income rider. You can guarantee an income stream. Also have this awesome potential for accumulation if your client decides to go buy a boat one day. But also, the contract has a 107% guarantee. In 7 years, worst case scenario, the market crashes every single year, you have a 107% return. So no matter what, you're going to beat a CD, you're going to beat a money market account, right? You're competing very well on an accumulation side, and you can throw that income rider on. So really, truly, an all-around product for those individuals looking for options out there. They're not maybe sold 100% on the income. You got to back it up with the accumulation. This is the product to lead in with.
I think that's always good, and sometimes maybe it's even better to front a product like this by saying, hey, listen, I have 107% guaranteed on this product. That's the worst scenario at the end of 7 years.
Right.
In the meantime, do you want to roll up that profit you made the year before to the next year and hit some serious double-digit numbers?
And think about this. A lot of our viewers on the show are FINRA agents. They're licensed and registered advisors. They're used to selling shorter-term surrenders. This product fits right in there. Strong ratings in a company, and at the end of the day, the guarantees are unbeatable. You can't touch them in the variable market, and you certainly can barely compete with them in the fixed market alone.
There's stuff happening in the annuity market, and again, when we spend our week, we're going to be talking about so much. We're just busting out one of the, what I would call, major players with a major name, huge. I love accumulation, right? I mean, I love accumulation, the opportunity of high potential double-digit returns, and I got a floor sitting there at 107. See, this is what the consumer wants. We already see this happening. We can tell by the way they talk to us off the show. We're taking that kind of email traffic and turning it into sales for you guys. Well, that's the time we have on our show today. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or email me, steve@thebiz.tv. Well, that's the Buzz on the Biz for today. You've been in the zone, the business insurance zone.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.